And if you didn't hear Steve's call on that last one, Jack Burton, the right fielder, fielded a shallow fly ball in right field. His momentum was carrying him towards the right field line. So when he made that catch, he had to turn his body, then make the throw to the plate. JSerra took the chance at third base, despite it being a fairly shallow ball. Really took a great hustle down the line, a perfect slide, and safe was the call. So we live with it and move on to today. Yeah, try to win the series.
That was Anthony Aleman who scored the game-winning run. We actually had the opportunity to chat with him about that play, break it down from the play that happened before, everything he saw, everything he heard, and what led to the decision and what all came in to make that play happen. So this is Anthony Aleman here on the Lions pregame show. Anthony, let's start with the other night. I want to start with the play prior to the play we obviously know. You're heading to third, ball bounces over the shortstop's mitt. You're about dead even with Orloff at third base. You look like you wanted to go. Matt obviously had different ideas and was probably the right call for him. Can you just kind of take me through the very quick, brief second you had to make that decision?
Yeah, well, it's something that we always practice. Always trying to be aggressive, trying to take the next base. But we're always keeping our head up, looking inside, paying attention. And Coach was able to yell loud enough for me to kind of process it and, break down. Luckily, I also wear football cleats instead of baseball cleats just because I feel like I have, better traction and grip on the field. So I guess that played a little part, too, with, stopping my momentum. But other than that, it's just a routine thing that we're always practicing in practice at JSerra.
So you didn't see him, you only heard him?
I only heard him, yes, because I was already turning inside, about to break away, and then he was like, stop, break it down. And then I was like, all right.
Wait, so did you even see the ball skip off the glove, or was it because that behind you at that time?
The whole time, so what I was thinking is ball's chopped, it wasn't hit crazy hard, so I had enough time to get to third base, and as I saw it go by, I was looking for, and just listening to Coach Orloff, like I said, helped me stop and break it down.
Now the next play, the obvious play. I want to start with the pop fly. There was a lot of wind that night. There's a lot of wind to that field, so we had seen some guys have some trouble with fly balls earlier in the game. That being said, that ball was pretty shallow. I had anticipated that you weren't going. I thought it may have been a bluff, just to draw a throw, see if it gets thrown away. When did you know that you were actually going to go?
I knew I was going. First off, I was already, going to tag because anything can happen on a shallow ball like that. The first baseman, right fielder, probably, they obviously wouldn't expect somebody to tag on a ball that shallow. So you always are ready for a scenario like that, especially with a close game like that. But when I went back to third base and I just watched the ball drop into the guy's glove, I just heard Coach K, Orloff, send him. And right when I heard that, I knew it was go time. There was no turning back from that. Like Coach K says, goes, and that's what happened, and we won the ball game.
And then on that, again, shallow pop to right. I talked with Matt earlier today, and he said one of the main decisions, obviously, with Brett yelling at him, but also movement towards the line. You see him kind of drifting towards the line, having to cut in like that, and you're coming into home now. You see the ball skipping in on the wrong side. Was it a conscious effort to find that backside of the plate, or kind of take me through that slide, what your mentality was there?
So, again, with JSerra baseball, that's just another thing that becomes kind of a routine part of baseball is if you see those little tendencies where, obviously it's split seconds, but if you see that catcher go outside, a lot of catchers don't get the ball and turn in where they just caught the ball. They like to go back around. So for me, it was just like, oh, it's another baseball practice. Go on the outside, like Luke Jewett was telling me, outside. So I had that insurance, and then just sliding in to get enough space in between him where he didn't have enough time to spin around, and then just quickly tap my hand, get in and get out. That way I don't have a lot of surface area for him to tag.
Obviously, you score, win the game. You haven't had a lot of experience here at varsity this season here in your first year up with the big club. But where does that moment rank for you in your baseball career?
Oh, it's easily, top 3, maybe top 1. Just, fighting with the brothers. Obviously, yes, first year being on varsity, but I've grown up with all these guys, and to be in that situation where I can actually help my guys, win a game in that spot is just on top of everything. It felt amazing. Everybody running out, Coach K just giving that, fist pump in the air. Just, it was amazing, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So.
All right, well, certainly one of the finer moments of my 3 years here at JSerra, and we'll see if it translates into a couple more wins here today. Anthony, thank you so much for taking your time out today.
Thank you.
Thanks to Anthony Aleman, who joined us on the JSerra pregame show. That's who was talking there. The big game-winning slide. He was into pinch run in that game in the bottom of the 7th, and the Lions scored 3 unanswered to win the ball game by a final score of 3-2. JSerra 7-0 on the year entering today, and they'll be playing game 2 and 3 of this de facto series here against Huntington Beach. Let's